What's up, ladies and gentlemen? We have Austin Rapp joining the show, transfer from Portland, originally from Australia. Austin, welcome to the show, and how are you doing?
I'm good. I'm good. I'm just in Portland at the moment, finishing off school. But thanks for having me on. I appreciate it.
Absolutely. Well, talk about that. I'm a little interested. What is that like as somebody who's committed to a different school, still being at the old school? Like, are you in contact with the Wisconsin staff to do like workouts and stuff? And then, do you still have access to the Portland facilities? Or are you going to the rec center? What's that looking like right now as a guy
Yeah.
who's
So I
committed to
mean,
Wisconsin, still going
yeah,
to school at Portland?
no, 100%. Yeah. So I mean, for some guys, like it's different. I'm lucky enough that I have a really good relationship with my coach at Portland, Coach Shante Leggins, and the staff. They're really good. They totally understood why I left, and they kind of encouraged me to do that just because they thought it was best for me too. So like they've been really good. Like they even still work me out. Like but my coaching staff at Portland and like the GAs and whatever, like they still work me out. So like they've been really good. I've been in contact with some of the with the Wisconsin guys. We've been chatting here and there, but mostly just getting into school application stuff. I'm sure we'll start talking about workout stuff. When I get home in about a month or two. So I think for me, like I'm lucky that the coaches I'm allowed to jump in their workouts. Like they don't care at all. So it's been really good so far.
That's awesome. Like I honestly, that's impressive from the Portland staff right there. That's really cool to hear. So yeah, I saw in Greg Gard's statement that he said that you and the Wisconsin program had a lot of mutual connections. Who were those mutual connections, and how did you end up at Madison?
Yeah, so I mean, the assistant coach Kirk Penny, he's from New Zealand and he played in the NBL, which is the league that in the Australian league that I actually played in before I came out here. So I knew Kirk a little bit, and we knew so many of the same people on my visit. Like we could have chopped it up for ages. Like we knew so many different people, and then Coach Leggins knew the coaching staff. Also, a GA at Portland right now was a manager at Wisconsin last year. So I got to know about Wisconsin before going there, like just through like him and just like asking questions. And obviously, I watch Wisconsin basketball, so it was kind of fitting, and it kind of worked out in the end that I had all these connections, and that's what kind of got me to Madison in the end. The kind of the connection I made with the coaching staff as soon as I got to Madison on my visit.
And also in that statement, I saw that you said you remember watching Frank Kaminsky growing up. I mean, were those like? I mean, you were when Frank was playing. You were just a little kid. Were those sort of like your first basketball memories? Like, did the consciousness switch turn on at just the right time for you to remember that?
Yeah, nah. I mean, I've been watching college basketball since I was so young. Like my dad played college basketball at UC San Diego. My brother's been just graduated from the University of Hawaii. Played 6 years of college basketball. My sister just graduated. So I've been around college basketball my whole life. I've been watching college
Sure.
basketball my whole life, and that's all I really know is basketball. So yeah, I remember watching Frank Kaminsky, Nigel Hayes, who obviously is killing it in EuroLeague right now. Like I used to watch a lot of college basketball. So yeah, as I said it a few times, like Frank Kaminsky, he doesn't play similar to me. Like tall guy shoots threes, and he was obviously dominant in the low block too. So guys I used to kind of look up to, and Frank Kaminsky, was a big time player for Wisconsin. So I definitely remember watching him back in the day.
Did the success of Frank Kaminsky? I know it's Greg Gard now, and Bo Ryan was the head coach when Kaminsky was there. But what they did with Frank Kaminsky, it's still Wisconsin basketball, same brand, and Gard was Bo's right hand man. Did like see what Kaminsky did in his development? Was that like a big selling point for you, or is that something that had to do with you committing to Wisconsin?
I mean, it wasn't just Kaminsky and himself. I mean, they've had so many guys like Ethan Harp, that obviously
Nice
the guys
reference.
right now, and Nolan Winter, the guys there right now. Like they play stretch fours, stretch fives. Like that's all they've played the last 10 years, and that's what they look for. That suits their offense particularly, and I think I do a good job, stretching the floor at 6'10" and knocking down threes. So it was pretty easy for me in terms of the fit. Like that was never a problem. Like I knew my play style fitted Wisconsin to a T. So obviously, yeah, it was a selling point because I saw what he could do. But obviously, there's so many other guys. Ethan Happ, Crawley from last year. Like there's heaps of guys that are kind of similar to me that have succeeded at Wisconsin.
And this one you might be too young for. Actually, I guarantee you are. But John Lure came right before, or a few years before Frank, and I think that one could be a bit of a comp for you if you ever remember the name John Lure.
I
He
don't,
he
but
was 6'10". He could put the ball on the floor. He could shoot. He could yeah. He just could do a little bit of everything, and he actually had a nice like 8-year NBA career and. Unfortunately, he got hurt, which kind of cut his career short. But he kind of
okay.
hit a peak in the NBA where he was pretty good. So he was 6'10", could put the ball on the floor, could shoot. I don't think could shoot to your extent, and I think that's what's really exciting. And something you mentioned a little bit earlier, kind of pivoting back to the NBL. Obviously that's a grown man's league with professionals, a lot of former NBA guys, and growing up. And you mentioned that you have some siblings who played college basketball, like playing against older siblings or older cousins, whatever it is, that is so like I feel like those kids who had that older sibling to kind of beat up on them, it makes them tougher. It makes them more creative with basketball, the finishes around the hoop. Talk about growing up with older siblings. I'll ask that to start. Talk about what was it like growing up with older siblings who played basketball, probably beat up on you a little bit. How has that impacted your game before I
No,
get
I
into the
think
NBL?
yeah, 100%. I think my brother's a big advocate. He's a big reason why I'm here today. To be honest, like he pushed me every day. He used to obviously we used to fight all the time. We used to play one on one in the backyard. Backyard. He used to beat my ass every day, physically off the court and on the basketball court. Like we used to be all the time. But man, I love my brother. I mean, we're really close. That's like one of my closest friends. So he pushed me every day. We used to obviously I used to get beat up, but it wasn't also just my brother. Like he would bring his mates over, and like they would go play, and
Sure.
they'll need one to jump in, and all right, the younger brother, let's put him in here. Like I think growing up around that is um, really in terms of like my physical approach and like you know going up against older guys from a younger age develops your basketball quicker because you're going up against guys and
100%.
are really good. So, having honestly, we used to play 2-on-2 battles. I got two sisters. We used to play 2-on-2 boys versus girls in the backyard. Like a lot. It would end in tears most times, and mum and dad wouldn't be happy after that. But we were really competitive and growing up, and I think that definitely helped a lot.
Absolutely, absolutely. And I just saw in my own life. I'm gonna give my old man a little shout out here. He was 6 foot back in the day. I don't know if he's 6 foot anymore, but he had two older siblings, and he mastered the sky hook shot like Kareem style. Where I mean, to this day, he's in his 50s, and me and him would be playing 2-on-2 at the gym against like some college age kids, and he could still get his shot off because he got so creative. Just he had to find a way to get the shot over
Yeah.
older, bigger, stronger, faster guys when he was a
No,
kid. And I just think that is so beneficial to just being a more creative and finisher around the hoop and just in so many different ways. And yeah, then you built on that once you grew up with older siblings. Now you played in the NBL for 8 games in 23-24, the 2023-24 season. Yeah, and I recognize a lot of the names. I looked at the 23-24 season and just looking at the statistics around the league. I recognize a lot of the names, like a lot of really, really good hoopers. What was that like playing against grown men at 18 years old?
oh man, I think that's genuinely the reason why I'm here today. Like that boosted my development really fast. I had to learn on the fly, and I had to go against bigger and stronger guys every day in practice. I actually was on the same team as a guy called Mitch Creek, who had a few years in the NBA too. He was a four-man, same position. He used to go at me every day in practice. I had Alan Williams, another guy who's been in the league, who's playing in Japan right now. Like guys
I'm very familiar.
who are really professional. Like have been around and played in the NBA, and I got to go against them and learn their habits and just kind of use their different stuff that they do. And I think we weren't as good that year, so it actually kind of helped me a little bit selfishly. I actually started a game. I played some minutes in some tough time, like in some meaningful minutes, like not just the last 2 minutes of the game when we're down or we're up 20. I got to actually play, and I got played against Alex Sarr, I played against Bryce Cotton, I played against really good players, and that definitely sparked my development a lot. And like I'm really grateful for the Southeast Melbourne Phoenix for giving me that opportunity, and honestly, that really did spark my development. I'm just forever grateful for that opportunity.
Khan was a Providence guy, right? He was a guard from Providence.
Oh yeah, he's out. This is the first year he's not going to be in the NBL, but he's been the leading scorer for the past like 4 years. He's won like
Okay.
MVPs. Like he's a bucket, man. He was a problem there. He's a problem in that league.
Dude, I honestly, there's just something about naming like old names from the past that just is just it feels good just hearing that name. I don't know what it is.
Nah,
The nostalgia.
for
Did I
sure.
see Shannon Scott in that league, the Ohio
Shannon
State
Scott was in
Buckeyes?
the league. Yep,
I
Shannon
was a
Scott was
fan of
in
him.
the
He
league.
was a
I think
dog.
like Montrezl Harrell was just in the league. Like there's
Yeah.
yeah guys who were in the league. So
Sure. So yeah, pivoting back to you and the Wisconsin Badgers, just talk about the vision Greg Gard has laid out for you moving forward.
I mean, I think for me, like I had a good year at Portland. But I got the keys as a freshman, so obviously thanks to the coaching staff again, they let me ball out and they gave me the opportunity that is in front of me today to go. I think that the vision that Coach Gard has given to me is like obviously he's showed me Ethan Harp, he's shown me all these guys who have had success in their program. He wants me to stretch the floor, he wants me to shoot the piss, but he wants me to become the next step. Getting downhill, bumping guys, getting the post. Like extending my game and switching on to little guards and keeping them in front of me. I think if I can get that in my game, as Coach said, like the limit's not on the roof. Like there's no limit. Like for me, like so. If I just got to keep working and keep getting better every day, and I think the sky's the limit. Hopefully, so obviously, dream mine's the NBA, and that's a vision that they saw for me. If I take these big steps in my game, and a big one is also getting my body right. Getting in the gym and being ready for the Big Ten next year. But yeah, he's been nothing but like positive, and I know that I'll become the player I want to become at Wisconsin. So
Yeah, your potential is actually scary. Like I'm glad I'm getting you on the podcast right now because if I were to reach out a year or two from now, it probably would have been a lot harder. So I'm glad I got you now. Hopefully we can stay in touch to where after you pop off, I can get you back on. But
sure.
yeah, no, your potential is scary because just the way I mean, and this is actually another question I had, but to finish my thought, just the way you can catch and shoot on the move, it's like you're a 6'2" guard. You're running off of screens full speed and shooting, but you're 6'9", 6'10". Like that's scary. And you led your conference as a freshman in 3-point field goals made. You had, I think I saw you averaged 2.7 3-point field goals made per game, which is the highest for anyone 6'9" or taller. But the question I have is just a very simple one. I see on X that you in your bio you say that you're 6'9", and then everywhere else I see that you're 6'10". What's the official height?
Okay, I'm 6'10". I actually haven't updated. Thanks for telling me. I'm going to do that right after. I remember when I made my Twitter, it was right after the World Cup for Australia, and I put 6'9". I do remember that. Thank you for reminding me. I'm going to make sure I
Yeah, you
change that.
got it.
But I'm 6'10". Yeah.
Yeah, no, this is some scary stuff. And then what's cool about your film is that you can put the ball down on the floor too. And I'm sure you're going to keep working and improving on that. But we've seen the flash just as a 18, 19-year-old freshman of you putting the ball down on the floor and finishing with fluidity. So I think that is a very exciting thing. And obviously, is that going to be just kind of a focal point this summer? Is your ball handling and just dribbling and attacking the hoop?
No, 100%. I think a big thing for me, obviously, getting a post game would be pretty. Being able to get a mismatch and take them down to the post and obviously bully them. I think I've taken a big leap in my ball handling and coming off ball screens and making plays. I think what I want to get to is becoming like a 3, 4, 5, even slot in a little bit of 2, like eventually, obviously later down the line. But when I get my body right, just because I feel like I can play that guard position, I can come off ball screens, I can throw passes. I averaged I think three assists a game this year, so I think that's a big part of my game that goes underlooked a little bit. But no, as I said, like I was kind of as growing up as a kid, I was always a 2-man, 3-man. I was always small, and then I had a really big growth spurt. So I could always shoot the ball, but I wasn't, wasn't really ever good at putting the ball on the ground. But that's something I'm going to start obviously in the summer, really get good at, and use my body to my strengths, and getting by someone and bumping them, and things like that will make me just become a 10 times better player.
Yeah. You know who that reminded me of a little bit, talking about the late growth spurt where he had the guard skills is, I mean, that's exactly what happened with Frank Kaminsky. I mean, he was a guard and then he had a growth spurt. Anthony Davis was a guard and he had a growth spurt and then, the rest is history. Or even that John Lure I mentioned earlier, he was the same way. He had having that guard skills and then hitting that height. So I think that's very interesting to follow. And yeah, Now, I mean, talking about playing the 2, 3, 4. I mean that sounds a little bit like KD, man. This is, and I'm not
Don't
counting you out either, but that's kind of it's kind of sounding like. I
Oh man,
mean,
I mean, KD is one of the best players to ever play basketball. So I mean, I appreciate the accomplishment. I'm not going to take it though. I don't want to pump my
I'm
tires
not
too
I'm
much.
not saying yet, but that's kind of the vision, though, right?
No,
That's
yeah, for
kind of like
sure.
the
Yeah,
dream vision, right?
yeah, 100%. Yeah, I
So
mean, KD is just 7 foot tall nearly and can do literally everything. So yeah, 100%. That's definitely a vision that I can see myself hopefully one day getting to.
sure, and so talk about inspirations in the NBA game. Like, who is somebody that you kind of model your game after?
Like, I mean, as you said before, we're trying to figure out play comp. I think for me, it's so hard. Like, I get thrown a few different guys.
Or is there anyone you just take some elements of their game and like say, oh, I like that?
Yeah, I mean, I think guys like I mean, obviously Fred Kaminsky. Like I mean, we've been talking about him a lot. Like I can definitely see myself modeling myself after his game, just the way he plays, pick and pop threes down the post. Like that's what I want to get to a little bit. Obviously, he's more of a 5'4". Obviously, like the guard skills. So, I mean, I've never really thought of it. It's a good. I'm going to start thinking of an NBA comp now to really. I really don't know.
Sure.
But I mean,
Well,
I watch a lot of college basketball. I watch a lot of NBA. I pick different parts of everyone's game. Obviously, I watch a lot of. I'm a Spurs fan, so I watch a lot of Wemby, and I watch a lot of those guys. And obviously, Wemby's a 7'3" guard, so
yeah.
seeing what he does is, it shows anyone can do it. You just got to put the time and the skill work in to do it. So. Yeah, I mean, I can't really think of an NBA comparison, but I mean, I take a bit of everyone's game and just try impact, put it in mind, and get better every day.
Yeah, and it's almost kind of hard to find a player comp when you're still so young and you're still developing, and you just recently had a growth spurt. So that I mean it's kind of hard to figure out that comp. But how tall were you your freshman year of high school? Out of curiosity.
Okay, so I'll tell you the story. So I was actually so before COVID happened. I'm not sure the high school like lines because high school in Australia is different to America. Um, but so before COVID, I was 6'2", six
Okay.
two, 6'2", chubby kid. Could just shoot threes. Like I was okay. I was skilled. I wasn't great. Um, Came out of COVID in Australia was really big. We had lockdown for about 2 years, in and out of lockdown. So no one really saw me for 2 years. And in
Sure.
in in COVID, I had really bad knee problems. Like I was growing crazy. I actually came out of COVID and I was 6'8". So
Wow.
yeah, I had a really
That's
big growth spurt.
they didn't even recognize you.
I know. No, like I went to my first basketball tryout like 3 weeks after lockdown, and people saw me and they're like, "Wow, like Aussie, that's you." Like, because I just grew so much, and like I was in
Yeah.
COVID, I was just working out, playing video games, sleeping all day. I had bad knee problems, like. Um, but no, yeah, COVID really obviously stuck my growth spurt. So yeah.
Yeah, well, that's actually wild. Well, that's a cool story. That's a cool story, and yeah, just a few more questions before we wrap up here. Just talk about yeah, well, this summer, what are you going to be focusing on to just kind of ensure a smooth transition to the Big Ten?
I mean, 100%. I think the big thing for me is, as I've grown, I've started to lean out a lot. I'm kind of skinny, kind of leaner on the leaner side now. So I think I need to bulk up a little bit, put on some weight, good muscle, obviously, like muscle weight. And get in the gym. I think getting in the gym this summer will be very important. I'll be hitting that a lot. I've got a really good trainer at home, Chris Povey, who, yeah, I'm doing workouts right now, and he's honestly changed my life. So already, so I'm just gonna keep working out as much as I can. But then basketball wise, ball handling, post stuff, and just becoming a really good defender is what I'm going to be working on this summer.
All right, very cool. And have you talked to any of your teammates yet? And what are your first impressions of them?
Oh no, I've spoken to a few teammates. I've got a roommate already for next year, Riccardo Greppi, who is from Italy. I've
Okay,
got to pick his brains a little bit about everything, and he's been great so far. I've spoken to Nick, but I've spoken to most of the guys. Most of the guys, hit me, text me, just been like, "Welcome, blah blah. You got any questions? Hit me."
sure.
I've spoken to Nolan a little bit about playing golf. Like he's a big golfer, and I play a little bit. I'm not great, but I want to start getting into it. So I'm gonna, play a little bit of golf in the summer with him. But no,
Oh,
I'm looking forward to meeting all the guys, getting out there, and just, the culture out there is already amazing, and I can't wait to just get out there and meet everyone, and just obviously college, like you build lifelong friendships, so I just can't wait for that.
Have you golfed much before?
Yeah. So I golf like not so when I played in the NBL, like the only thing you would do, you'd have practice in the morning, and everyone would just go golf. Not everyone, but some guys on the team, and I was like, I've got nothing else to do. Like, let's go golf. Come on. So I would go, and I was terrible for like a while. And now I can hit the ball. I can actually hit it, and I don't do as many missed swings. Like if I play 9 holes, I can hit 50. Like
Okay.
that's not terrible. My driver slice it every time, but I love golf. It's so fun. I'm going to get some clubs that actually fit me, and going to start trying to get good at it.
Well, it's good you have a baseline because I know that I imagine those beginning stages are probably pretty rough because just if you ever watch pro golf, you don't see any 6'10" guys on the tour. They're all the big guys. The big guys are like 6'1".
Yeah, I
So
know.
there's just a lot that could go wrong when you're 6'10". I'm 6'4", and I know, but at 6'10", it's even worse. When you swing, there's a lot of things that can go wrong on that swing. But it's good you have a baseline, so won't
No,
be too frustrated this summer. But yeah, man. Speaking a little bit more about Nolan Winter, just talk about what you think that'll look like with you and him on the court together. And do you think we could see a little bit of a 6'10" and up pick and roll with the two of you?
no, I think 100%. I mean, as Coach Gard actually said to me, that one of the hardest things they had to guard in the Big Ten this year was
Michigan.
Danny Wolf and Golden coming off those 4 or 5 ball screens. Like they don't know what to do. So as I said, I think me and Nolan will be matchup nightmares for a lot of teams. We can both stretch the floor, we can both shoot it, and I'm sure we'll play together a lot. I'm looking forward to that for sure. But yeah, as I said, like he's a really good player, shoots the ball really well, and he can also probably come off ball screens if he really wanted to as well. So it'll be really cool to just throw up different actions of the teams, and like obviously Danny Wolf and Golden kind of showed that winning the Big Ten this year, they showed the pathway for that. So. Gard's definitely, Coach Gard definitely hasn't put that out of the arsenal. I'm sure we'll try and chuck some stuff in with Kirk Penny, and we'll see what happens. Don't want to give too much away, but yeah.
Yeah, no, I hear you. I hear you. And that it is like, I mean, that's Winter. You talk about you just kind of scratching the surface of your potential. I think Winter is the exact same way. He had a ton of seniors he was playing with this last season, and now like it's his turn now. He's been there 3 years. It's time for him to take that big sophomore to junior step. So I think the two of you guys could just kind of perhaps catch some people off guard with what you guys are capable of next season. So I think that's a very exciting things for Badger fans to keep an eye on. And then last question before our rapid fire round is there anything in your game you think will surprise fans around college basketball?
Yeah, I mean, as I said, I think playmaking goes underlooked a little bit for my game. I really think, especially in the Big Ten, there's a lot of hard showing, and there's also a bit of drop coverage. Um, I'm really looking forward to getting the short rolls or even coming off a ball screen and just finding teammates. I really like finding teammates, and out of a post, like I really think passing is one of my best traits. So I was 6'10", average 3.5 assists. So I think that's one thing that hopefully the fans will look out for, and hopefully I'll keep improving on as the season goes on.
Let's go, Austin. I really appreciate your time. I've really enjoyed the conversation. And the last round I got for you is a rapid fire round. I'll give you a bunch of questions, just answer in a timely fashion. And the first question I got for you is who's the best player on the planet right now? And there's probably no chance you say an American if I had to guess, but
Nikola Jokic.
yeah, that was my guess. And I agree with you there. I agree.
Yeah.
MJ or LeBron?
LeBron.
Toughest player you've ever had to guard?
Ooh, good question. Let's go with, I'm going to say Mitch Creek.
Okay. And I asked my last guest this. He didn't have an answer for this one, but I'll see if you do. If there's anyone in the NBA you'd be most excited to match up with when you get there, who would it be?
Wemby.
Wemby? All right. Dogs or cats?
Dogs.
Favorite food?
Tacos.
Favorite holiday?
Ooh. Hawaii.
All right. Favorite movie?
Coach Carter.
Favorite sport outside of basketball?
Australian rules football.
All right. Favorite musical artist?
Drake.
Favorite type of workout?
Ooh, basketball, obviously. Yeah, is that
Least favorite type of workout?
running?
All right. And then your favorite moment from your career so far, college, NBL, whatever.
Game-winning shot to win the national championship in state level back in Australia.
Awesome. And then give me your favorite moment of your freshman year, favorite game.
Uh, I had 25 against Oregon State at home, and we won, which was a big upset.
Awesome. Awesome. Well, Austin, thank you very much for your time, and I'm looking forward to staying connected along the way.
No, I appreciate it. Thanks for having me on. I appreciate it. It means a lot.